Jeff Tweedy.
How's it going?
Nice to see you, man.
Good to see you.
How are you?
Good.
Thanks for coming by, man.
Thanks for inviting me to sit down.
Of course. It's a pleasure.
Nobody's ever done that before.
Invited you to come sit down?
No.
Usually you just have to just stand up and play?
It's just play, and then they won't get out of here.
Congrats on a new label.
Oh, thank you.
Have you ever imagined you'd have your own label?
Yes, but not quite the way that it worked out. No, I think that it's something we've thought about for a long time, but this is, it's really exciting. You know, I think that things are finally at a place with Wilco and with the way people hear music and, you know, consume music, if you want to use that word, where I think we really know how to do it, so I'm excited about it.
You said things are finally at a place with Wilco. What do you mean by that?
Well, I think we've been doing it for a long time, and over the years we've taken on more of the responsibilities regarding putting our record out and marketing it and getting it into people's hands and promoting the band. We've taken and tried to get better at doing those things internally. And also, I think a lot of the ways people hear music and the internet has changed the way you can reach out to people, and it really wasn't where it is now. I don't really know what I mean by that, to be honest.
Well, iTunes just had their 10 billionth song, I think, on iTunes. It's incredible that the huge, and it hasn't been that long.
No,
you know. So, but John Bon Jovi came out the other day and was ripping Steve Jobs, saying basically the way kids listen to music now, people listen to music in singles and on iTunes, that's ruined music.
I think John Bon Jovi ruined music. I don't know what he's talking about. Oh, well, I mean, you know, I've never met the guy.
Yeah, neither have I. Yeah.
No, so, that sounds really silly.
It does. It's just, it feels like the idea of the single versus the album.
I don't know. It's just different. It's just the music industry itself is not that old, and you know, 100 years ago, there were people. You know, people act as if music is the business of selling music, and music is not the business of selling music, obviously, and it's just another industry, it's another business, and it's got to change. It has to change, and you know, kids seem to be figuring it out. And there's lots of great music out there. There's lots of bands doing it in weird, unique ways that would have never been available to me starting out.
Imagine other things that would be available to you if you were starting now. Your son is his own music mind now, isn't he, Spencer? How old is he now?
He's 15.
15?
Yep.
How does he feel? Do you guys talk about music?
We do. We talk about music a lot, yeah. We listen to music well, I mean, he rides his bike to school most of the time, but when it's really cold, like lately, we've been listening to music on the way to school, and we have been doing that forever.
Is there stuff that he listens to that you just can't get it? You just can't wrap your head around it?
Not really, no. I mean, he's pretty, I don't know. I think I'm willing to listen to almost anything, not John Bon Jovi, but no, that's really not fair. I've heard he's a really nice guy.
He's written some pretty big songs, I suppose, right?
Yeah, he's great.
What does Spencer think?
I love John Bon Jovi.
What, you ever play your songs? Do your songs ever come on and you talk to your kid about them?
Oh yeah, all the time, and especially, you know, in the studio, I play him rough mixes of what we're working on, and both my children, you know, Sam he's 11, and they both have extremely astute observations that I can't really rely upon everybody to be as honest with me as they maybe once were. Yeah. I think that's one of the things that comes with having success. People assume that you know what you're talking about because you've had some success or things have gone well, so they think that you don't really need, I don't know, valid constructive criticism anymore. I don't know. It's just hard. People just don't want to tell you stuff you don't want to hear.
No one wants to walk.
But my kids aren't afraid to tell me stuff I don't want to hear.
How have you matured into that position? I mean, being a guy who's had success now, and even though you haven't sold the records Bon Jovi has, you've clearly established yourself. Are you comfortable?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I'm much more comfortable than I really anticipated ever being. You know, and I mean, I don't mean that I have like guitar-shaped swimming pools or anything like that. I just mean that I really did not expect much out of this business or out of getting to make records. And I'm honest when I say that. My heroes, the bands that I worshipped, a lot of them never had anything close to what I've managed how I've managed to make my life. So, I mean, originally the idea was if I got in a van and toured and got to put records out on an independent label, I would have been very, very happy with that. And we did that, and things have really kind of steadily gotten a little bit better each year since that. You know, some hiccups, some little bumps in the road, but for the most part, I just think we've kept our heads down and kept working, and every once in a while you look up and go, wow, I don't know how this happened, but it's nice. It's really nice.
What's the idea that, you know, not just external issues, so, I mean, for yourself even, is it easier to find the inner voice when you're struggling personally? Because you hear people talk about how these great artists really made their best work when they were in the throes of either depression or anxiety or drugs or whatever, and then when they get clean, there's a different perspective. Have you found that the noisier one's life is, the better the art?
I've struggled with the idea of the tortured artist a lot in my life, and you know, I've been through addiction. I've been through periods of pretty serious depression and anxiety, and I do struggle with it and struggle at staying healthy. And I don't personally subscribe to that idea. In fact, I think it's a very damaging mythology that has grown up around the idea of art being a product of pain, as opposed to being something that's created in spite of pain. I look at it that way. I look at it like the part of me that is able to create, managed to create in spite of the problems I was having, and you know, almost as if that was the only healthy part of me. And that's the part of me that I feel like getting healthier I've been able to nurture.
Do you feel like you're writing your best songs now?
I think I would really want to quit if I didn't feel like I was getting better. I don't know if they're the best songs, but I feel like I'm getting better and enjoying what I do more. And so there's no way you can compete the longer you make music. There's no way you can compete with your early records if they've resonated with people, because they have time to seep into people's lives, and a new record is immediate, and something immediate will never have the same set of emotions with something that's been able to accumulate emotions over a long period of time. So I've kind of resigned myself to the idea that that's just the way it is, and keep my head down and make stuff I feel like I'm getting better at making.